Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Monday. Today we're going to be going over a new kind of way to solve quadratic equations. We're going to learn about something called the quadratic formula. So we're going to go through some steps, show you some examples, and we'll see how this works out. This right here, x equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. That is the quadratic formula. So I would recommend that you pause the video and copy that down. So take a break to do that. Now we're going to go through the steps for solving this. One of them is going to be fairly familiar. So the first one is to get the equation equal to 0. That's something you should know by now. The second thing that you're going to do is you're going to plug the values for a, b, and c. So that's the, so in this example, a is 3, b is 12, and then we're going to figure out what c is when we add the 11. You plug that into this equation, and then step 3, you solve that quadratic formula for the two solutions. It's going to take a little bit of time to do that, but that's okay. So let's go through one example. So this example right here, 3r squared plus 12r minus 26 equals negative 11. Step 1, we have to get the equation equal to 0. It's not equal to 0, so we have to add 11 to both sides. So that gives us 3r squared plus 12r minus, what would that be? 15. All right, so we have that. And that is equal to 0 now, so that works. So let's figure out, in this equation, we're going to have a equals 3, b equals 12, and c equals negative 15. So those are a, b, and c. And now we're going to plug those into our equation. So instead of x equals here, we're going to use r because that's our new variable. So we're going to, I'm actually going to give myself some more space. So r equals, like a really big fraction bar. So it's going to be negative b. B here is 12, so it's going to be negative 12 plus minus the square root of, and then 12 squared minus 4, and then in parentheses, a is 3, and negative 15 is c. So it's a lot of stuff that just went in there. And all divided by 2 times a, which is 3. So again, we'll go over the colors, but the reds are the a's, the blues are the b's, and the green is the c. Everything else in black is what should have been there anyway. So that's the most complicated thing you have to do, is the putting all this stuff in the right spots. Now, we're going to solve this out. So the first step for solving, we're going to start by just carrying down the negative 12 plus minus and square root. 12 squared, 12 times 12 is 144. And let me grab a calculator. We can do this all in one go. So the next thing that we're going to have to do is negative 4 times 3 times negative 15. So we can do that. That is positive 180. It's not minus anymore because we did use that negative 4 right there. So positive 180, all divided by, and then 2 times 3 is 6. Next, after you do those two things, again, we'll carry down the negative 12 plus minus. I'll explain what that plus minus is in a second. That is the square root of, well, what is 144 plus 180? So that is going to be 324, pretty big number. all divided by 6. Next thing that we're going to do equals negative 12 plus minus. Let's figure out what the square root of 324 is. So we're going to go over here. On my calculator, I type it in second square root. Your calculator will be different, but 324. So that is 18. The square root of 324 is 18. So we put an 18 there. Now, this is where we break things off. So if you remember from last week, all of these equations gave you 2 answers. So we're going to break this down into r equals negative 12 plus 18 divided by 6. So you see that plus minus. We'll do one of them plus, one of them minus. So negative 12 plus 18 divided by 6, and r equals negative 12 minus 18 divided by 6. So we have 2 little equations. We have to do those both out. So r equals here, negative 12 plus 18 is 6, and divided by 6, that's going to be 1. So we have one of our answers, and here r equals negative 12 minus 18, so that is going to be r equals negative 30 divided by 6, so r equals negative 5. So those are the 2 answers. So r equals, I'm going to make sure you see it, r equals 1 and r equals negative 5. We can write that down like this. R equals 1, comma, negative 5 in the squiggly brackets, because that means those are the 2 solutions. And that is how you get your answer. So, quickly going through these steps, or let's go through slowly. So, first step, make it equal to 0 by adding or subtracting whatever's on the other side. Find out a, b, and c. Then is the hard step. You have to make sure, put b into the right spot. So, negative b plus minus the square root, that was b squared, 12 squared, minus 4, the negative 4 always goes there, times a, times c. If that one's negative, or if that one's negative, make sure you put them, make sure you have the negative symbol with it, divided by 2a. You go through and you do all the steps out. So the first step, actually square that number, multiply those numbers together, multiply the bottom, then add those 2 numbers together, actually take the square root, so square root of 324 is 18. I would not do that in your head, I would do that on a calculator. And then we break that into 2. One of them is plus, one of them is minus. Solve those 2 on their own. All right, good luck everyone. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will try to help you on your homework. Have a great rest of your day, guys.